Okay, we want to find how much material is needed for this tent. Now I realize this tent is not what we're used to these days. This is a basic triangular prism. One of the things that we have to be careful about is making sure that we know the lengths of all of our sides. We know the length of all of these sides basically has to be the same, so those are all 6. This length, and let me actually change my colors here. This length and this length, and I apologize about the dog, are both going to be 8. Okay? These other 2 sides, I cannot automatically say that they are 8 because I don't know. I know that the height is 3. To find the length of this side, I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. And if this is 8, half of that is going to be 4. And the reason I'm using half is because that drops straight down and cuts that in half. And so, using Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is going to equal my c squared. Okay? So I'm going to have 3 squared plus 4 squared equals my c squared. So it's going to be 9 plus 16 is equal to c squared. 9 plus 16 is 25 is equal to c squared. So the square root of 25 is equal to 5. So this length is actually 5 feet. So these red sides here are all 5 feet. Okay? And so it's important that we find out what we're actually looking at. Because whenever we see this, we have one piece that's the bottom down here. So we have a bottom that's going to have an area of 6 times 8, which will be 48. We have 2 sides that will be this side and the side facing us. That will be a 5 times 6. And I say 5 times 6 because we have this length of 6 and this times 5. Because this right here, remember, is 5 feet because this is 5. This is 5 and this is 5. Which will be 30. And then we have the ends. That's this end and this end, which are triangles. So the ends, triangles, are 1/2 the base, which is going to be 8, times its height of 3. 1/2 of 8 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. I have 2 of those, so I've got to remember I've got 2 of those and I've got 2 sides. But I only have 1 bottom. So I've got 1 bottom plus 2 sides plus 2 ends. That will be how much material I need, or my surface area. Okay? So my total surface area, once I add all of these up, 48 plus 60 plus 24, that's going to give me 132 feet squared. You have to be very, very careful. Again, it would be the nice assumption to say that this side here was the same as this 8. But I can't make that assumption because I don't know. So I have to use that Pythagorean theorem using this 3 and the 4 to find out what the length of this side is. Because we know that tenths aren't always the same. Okay? And so it's not necessarily an equilateral triangle down at the bottom. And so I can't say that the bottom and the two sides are all going to be the same surface area. So these two don't always have to be the exact same. So you do have to be a little bit careful and make sure you know what each of your values are. So I want you to try some of those applications.